In terms of away performances in the Champions League, that's got to be rated as one of Celtic's best. But where do the players rate based on their performance tonight? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Time for the Celtic player ratings from their Champions League playoff tie against Bayern Munich. Unfortunately, ended 1-1 with that late Alphonso Davies equaliser. I mean, without that, there'd probably be no need for this video. We'd probably just give every player here and Brendan Rodgers a 10 out of 10. If Celtic did the impossible and defeated Bayern Munich and sealed their place in the next round of the Champions League. But unfortunately, shit happens and Celtic fell late to that equaliser and they now have been knocked out. So we're going to go through the players here. Obviously, starting 11, then the subs, then the manager. Didn't actually realise this during the game, but I can't believe Rodgers only made 2 substitutions. Now, I get it. At one point, it did look like they were going to hold it and they were going to go into extra time. And Rodgers probably wanted to keep his substitutions for later on when the players were really tired. And plus, when you look at the bench, I felt like the quality just wasn't there. I mean, you look at the Bayern Munich team, they can make 5 subs and they can literally switch class player for class player. I mean, I look at the Celtic bench and honestly, the only player I think you'd really want to bring on would be Luke McCowan. I think he's the only guy on that bench that you would trust to come on and do a job. Obviously, I mean, Greg Taylor as well, but I mean, those are probably the only two, Taylor and McCowan. Everyone else just seemed like a step below what Celtic would have needed tonight in this Champions League game. So here, maybe that's the reason why Rodgers only made 2 subs. And let's be honest, the 2 subs that he did make, he was forced into. Obviously, Jota was tiring, so that's why he brought in Ida, and then Kuhn was forced off injured, that's why he brought on Yang. If Jota was fully fit, and if Kuhn never got injured, would Rodgers have made any subs? We don't know. But anyway, with that said, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think Rodgers was saving his subs for extra time? Do you think he wanted to, bring them on when the players were really tired in the final 40 minutes? Or do you think it's a simple case of Celtic at this level in the Champions League just don't have the quality on the bench to really make subs without weakening the 11, that much? Let me know what you think down below. I think it might be the latter, to be honest, because I was looking at the Celtic bench and I thought, you know what, man, there's not much there. I mean, obviously Bernardo wasn't available, he's out. He's a player that I think Brendan Rodgers would happily bring on. McCowan, I think, could definitely play in this game, but I mean, who's Rodgers going to take off? The weakest midfielder for me was Arne Engels, and it's a big call taking off your, world record signing in a Champions League game that you need to get a result and to go through. So, I mean, Rodgers in a rock and a hard place. I think if Celtic want to go really far in the Champions League, they could do with some additional signings. But then again, they're dominating the Scottish League. How much more money do you spend just to be a little bit more competitive in Europe? But that's what I felt like tonight. I felt like Celtic were missing a few, like 5, 6, 7 million pound players to bring on from the bench. And like Bayern Munich, they can bring on quality players. And I just look at the Celtic bench, and if they made 5 subs, then it looks like to me the starting 11 would have been a hell of a lot weaker than it started. So, anyway, let's get into it. Kasper Schmeichel, great game. Some people may say he could have done better for the equaliser. Look, he made the save. It's not his fault. Carter Vickers maybe should do a better job getting rid of it. If you want to blame anybody, I don't think you can blame Schmeichel. I'm going to give Schmeichel a 9 out of 10. Had he kept the clean sheet, I think it would have been a 10. But I'm going to give him a 9. He was great tonight. First half, he actually didn't have that much to do. Second half, towards the end, he was getting tested a lot. And I mean, he made quite a few. And for me, he's probably the best goalkeeper I think Celtic have had in a long time. We're talking probably since, I don't know, Boric or Foster. But I mean, for me, he does clear Joe Hart and the keepers that they had in the last 10 years. So, Schmeichel a 9 out of 10. Alistair Johnston, I don't like him, but he's great. What can you say? Putting a really good performance tonight. Kept Bayern Munich quiet. I mean, he was winning everything. Just looked very, very solid. And, for a while I was wondering whether or not Johnston is better than Juranovic, but I think he is. I'm going to give Johnston a 9 tonight. Thought he was good. Can't complain. Right, Trusty up next. Got Trusty and Carter Vickers, the centre-back partnership. Look, I thought they were really solid. Not a lot in it. Can you blame Vickers? I think it's unfair if you blame him for the goal. But for me, there wasn't really much in between it with Trusty and Carter Vickers, so I'm going to give them both 8s. And I know that these ratings might seem a little high considering Celtic didn't win, but I still thought it was a great performance, right? Schlupp came in, again, probably a better player than Greg Taylor. Is he somebody that Celtic would be interested in? Possibly, but Kieran Tierney we know is returning, so I don't think that's really necessary, although I do think there is a chance that this will probably end, not Ralston, sorry. I think this will end Greg Taylor's time at the club. I do believe that Greg Taylor will be looking at this and he's going to see that he's already been replaced by Schlupp. He's not really getting an opportunity here in the final 5 months of his contract to, make a case for him being the number one. I think he'll look at this and see a sign of things that are going to come with Tierney coming in. And I do think that Greg Taylor will leave Celtic in the summer. Yeah, that's my prediction. But who knows? Maybe if Taylor leaves, Celtic could sign Schlupp and they could, have Tierney as well. And I mean, what options that would be at left back? You talk about having, get 2 great, picks there for your left back position. But I'm going to give Schlupp an 8. Very solid as well. Great performance. Callum McGregor. He was decent. He had that breakthrough at the beginning. He was running through on goal, hit it well over. But it was a good performance for McGregor. I'm not going to sit here and say he was poor. But for me it wasn't. I don't think he was a standout player tonight. But it was a good captain's performance. I'm going to give McGregor. A 7. A 7. Rio Hatate. Again, thought he played well tonight. Similar to McGregor. I'm going to give Hatate a 7. He had a nice flick. I felt like towards the end he gave the ball away a few times. So, I'm going to give Hatate a 7. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give McGregor an 8. I'll give McGregor an 8 and a Hatate. I'll give Hatate a 7. Or did I give Hatate an 8? No, I'll give Hatate an 8 because I feel. But then again, if I give them both a 7 and an 8, I feel like I'm being a little bit unfair on the defenders. You know what? I'm going to give them both 7. Screw it. Right, Arnie Engels for me probably the weakest player in the Celtic starting 11 tonight, especially when he cost £11.5 million. I just expect more from him. Didn't see it for me. He was the weakest out of the midfield trio, so I'm going to give Engels a 6. Right, moving on to Kuhn. I don't think it was his greatest performance. I really don't. But he got the goal. And, that counts for something. So I'm going to give Kuhn an 8. I think that, that goal. And he could have had another goal in the first half as well had he had a better shot. But, look, he did get the goal. It was a decent finish. A little bit fortunate for the ball to break for him. But, in the end, he took his chance. And, he did give Celtic that lifeline. He did put Celtic in front. So I think that's deserving. Had he not got the goal, then it would have been, a 7, maybe a 6, I don't know, but he got the goal, so I'll give him an 8. Jota, I thought he was good for the amount of time that he was on the pitch, so I will give Jota. He did set up that really good chance in the first half. I'll give him a 7. I can't give him a poor rating just because he got subbed off early due to fitness. I think while he was on the pitch, he looked like a threat. Second half, not so much, but again, that's because of fitness issues. I'll give him a 7. Dyson Maeda, I'm going to give a 9. Thought he was phenomenal. I said that he should start the game up front, and the difference between Maeda and Ida, is phenomenal. But I'm sitting thinking here, what if Celtic had Kyogo available for this game? Would it have made a difference? Could Kyogo have been the difference maker? Would Kyogo have took some of the chances that Celtic got early on in the game? Maybe, potentially. We'll never know. But you just cannot deny this Celtic team is weaker without Kyogo Furuhashi. Even if you don't think with these current set of players, even if you do not believe that Kyogo starts, Kyogo would 100% strengthen this team coming on from the bench fresh. So, we can sit and debate who is the best three, the front three, but, having Kyogo in this game could have been the difference maker. Instead, you're having to you're having to bring on Yang. I'm sure Rodgers could have mixed things up. Maybe he could have had Ida through the middle with Furuhashi on the right, Maeda on the left. Could have done something like that. But yeah, I just think the attacking option that they've lost with Furuhashi is, it's a lot. It's a lot, and they could have done with him tonight. Right, Adam Idah came on. I mean, by the time he came on, Celtic were really... I mean, they scored not long after he came on, and then they were kind of just sitting back. So, Adam Idah, I'm going to give 6. Is what it is. And Yang came on. He lost the ball a few times, especially trying to come out from the back. Now, albeit he didn't have much of an out ball. I mean, at that point, Celtic kind of had 11 men behind the ball. But there was a few times where he broke out from his own box and he was just giving the ball straight back to Bayern Munich. So I'm going to give Yang... a 5. And I think that's a generous 5 because I don't think he'd done enough at all in the time that he had on. Right, Brendan Rodgers, I thought he set up the team great defensively. I mean, not his fault what happened at the end there. Very unlucky to concede that late goal. I'm going to give Brendan Rodgers... just because they sat back, I'm going to give him an 8. But I think that... I mean, he was moments away from getting arguably the best result in Celtic European history. But they did ride their luck towards the end. I mean, Bayern Munich were creating a lot of chances. You know what? Do we give... Fuck it, we'll give him a 9. I feel like, yeah, I'll give Rodgers a 9, but I think he should have probably... Or did I give him an 8? I'll give him an 8, because I think he should have made changes. And yeah, so that's it. That's my ratings, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Schmeichel, Johnston, Maeda, for me, the standout players. All the Celtic defence was really good. I feel like maybe if the midfield and attacking players played a bit better, then maybe Celtic could have scored an extra goal or two, and who knows, we could be sitting here talking about how they'd be in the draw on Friday. But I mean, I look at that initial 20 minutes, missed a few chances in there. I mean, you had McGregor through early on, missed a really good chance. You had Engels, didn't really, step up to the plate. The £11.5 million player, chance for him to shine, and in my opinion, he just didn't really do it. So yeah, defensively, Celtic were great. Attacking wise, maybe they just needed a bit more quality on the night, and they could have been into the next round. But it is what it is. That's my ratings, guys. Let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Bean Fog Football. Thanks for watching, and peace.